Final Fantasy VII Remake. Where is this game? How far on the horizon is it? When will I have it in my hands? What's good? My fellow peasants. So I want to talk very quickly about the remake because there has been some new news and there's been some people fretting and worrying about when we might see this product. In fact, a lot of people are now saying 2018 based on what was said. I think even Daryl from FFVII, great guy, he even thinks that based on what's been said of late. I'm going to kind of do a counter video. I don't think it will be 2018. I'm going to go through everything that's been said. I'm going to go back into the archives of history. And we're going to talk about everything that's been said in the interviews, where I think this product is and why I think it's where it is. So going back to June 2015, when we had the first trailer come out. Now the first trailer, after 48 hours of rumours that the FF7 was being remade, we all went crazy, we all cried, we all laughed, we all hugged strangers, we all rolled into fetal positions. Those 48 hours, I'm going to tell my grandchildren about those 48 hours. But shortly after the announcement came out 14 months ago, God, that long ago, we had some very worrying bits of information that came out. The first of which was that Kitase, that trailer, he had made that entirely in isolation. aka he built that trailer just to take it to a boardroom to see if he could get some interest in the remake being done. So at the point that trailer was made, there was zero groundwork, zero plans. He'd completely made that in isolation, leading people to think there was nothing but that trailer in place. That kind of then got exacerbated by Nomura saying he didn't know he was the director.
Say what?
He didn't. At that point, he didn't. And people were thinking, what the hell, how do you not know you're the director? Now, this all got clarified later on that boardroom meeting he went to was 2 years ago. And they said that. They said, this has already been, they've known about this for 2 years. The thought of doing the remake has been on their mind for 2 years. And that trailer was 2 years old. And Nomura, since then, does know he's the director. He is on board as the director. So that was all old comments. Nothing to fear. Now, going off from that to December 2015, the second trailer. Sorry, I've got my dates. So we had it announced on the second trailer that it was also, or roughly just after that, it's going to be episodic. Now, that leaves even more hope that this isn't as far off. I mean, just from that alone, I know that each game is still going to be 60 hours long. They're not cutting it down to 15, 20 hour. Episodic is a terrible, terrible word. Terrible word. Really is. And they've admitted that is a terrible word. It does imply a very short, not a full game. That is not the case. But it does still lead me to think that because it's episodic, we will get this sooner, just off the bat. Also, just the second trailer alone, I mean, look at it. We had combat, we had voice actors, we had proper character models. The cutscenes were done really, really well. I mean, even just when you look at the lighting and down to all the detail, this is looking like a polished product, and this was 10 months ago. So let's just bear this in mind, that this trailer is pretty close to it. Now, at that time, around January, we also had a little bit of concerning information, and that was Nomura saying he was still working on the concept art for certain characters, and he actually named a character. He said Rufus Shinra. He said, I'm drawing Rufus Shinra at the moment. Now, to some people that was, oh my god, they haven't even got the concept art done, so they haven't even really started the animation. Now, they don't do all of the concept art, then start all of the animation. In fact, this is good news because the way it works is, or the way it's clearly working, is they're working alongside each other. So if they needed Biggs, Wedge, Jesse, Cloud and Barrett for the start, for the first part of the game, they're the ones that the concept arts were done first for, so the animation team could get to work. So of course, who would follow on from there? Well, there'd be a whole load of characters before Rufus Shinra. There'd be Aerith, there'd be Tifa, there'd be President Shinra, Scarlet, Heidegger, Hojo, Song, the other Turks. Yeah, there'd be loads. Reeve Tuetzi, there would be loads of characters. So, and if the first section is as Midgar-centric as people are thinking it is, Rufus Shinra really could be one of the last on the list. I mean, literally, he could be the last if it is in just Midgar. So that's hopeful news. That's good news. Now moving on from there, since those 10 months, what have we had? We haven't had much. We've had the odd interview in which the directors say, can't really tell you anything. It's progressing. We're working on it. We're working really hard. And I don't think that's bullshit. It is clear that they do have a really big team on this. We saw the Square Enix's office at one point, and the Kingdom Hearts team were petitioned off from the FF7 remake team. And the FF7 remake team, there were a lot of people there, and they've been saying that as people conclude their work on 15, they're moving over. So they are working on this really hard. I mean, I think it's almost close enough to say balls to the walls at this point. And that's why I think 2018 is too far away. That's not being hopeful enough. I'm going to be hopeful that if we do have concept art down, and we do have that, and it's episodic, all of that is looking quite tidy. On top of this new information, and this came out about a week ago, and this is the clincher. In an interview with Dengeki, I'm just going to pull it up, make sure I cover all the points I wanted. Oh yeah, I'll cover that in a minute. So, in last week's interview, Nomura came out and said he got asked about it. I'll just say this: he got asked in an interview about the remake, and he quite fairly said, as most have said, I can't really say anything at the moment. There's too much going on with World of Final Fantasy, FF15, Kingdom Hearts. I can't tell you much, and that's what pisses me off. They get put in an interview situation and they give that honest answer, and people in the comment sections, they have a fucking go. I mean, I can read the comments now. Nomura, they're saying, oh, that's just another please be excited, this guy's a waste of space. And just like, what the fuck? Nomura got asked. I mean, what can he do? You can't just give an interviewer an answer every time they want one. That gets on my gripes. Like, the guy can't give out information. This is the thing. They keep saying, we want to give you information, but it's too busy right now. We need to let things calm down. If it weren't for Kingdom Hearts, FF15 and World of Final Fantasy, we would know more about the remake. We just would. And that's why I think come December, we're going to get a flood of information. And he's kind of even confirmed it. So Nomura said in an interview that this would be action orientated. It isn't going to be ATB. Sorry, turn-based people, ATB people. There's just no chance this is going to be even remotely anything like ATB. They can try to spin it for you that it's going to be kind of turn-basedy, but what Nomura said is basically no, it ain't. It's going to be an action-orientated game. So that's that. The other thing he said was about the combat system, that the battle system is vastly different to the original, so I think we need to communicate very clearly just how exactly battles will work. We're currently in the middle of elevating various aspects up to finished quality. Oh, good googly moogly. That I think that, I mean, that is a big deal. It just is. We're currently in the middle of elevating up to finished quality. Now, I know he's talking about various aspects, and he's only talking about the combat system in particular, which he's also described as being Dissidia-esque. So when he's saying that he's going to explain it a lot more to us, I think that's going to happen in January. I'll give my reason for that in a minute. And I think in January, he's going to explain to us why it's Dissidia-esque. I mean, those were their words, and I can't work that out, how this combat system is going to be Dissidia-esque, but that's what they said. But the fact that this is coming up to finished quality in certain aspects, on top of where I think the concept art is, where the animation is, what we just saw in that trailer, which was 10 months ago, I don't think this is as far on the horizon as people think. Like, honestly, I don't think 2018, I think that's too big a stretch. I'm going to be hopeful on this one. In fact, I'm going to call it summer 2017, and the reason for that, and what also got people concerned, was when he got asked in this interview, what will we do for the 20th anniversary? Nomura responded, I'm going to have to think of something. We're going to have something planned. Which made people take the assumption that they haven't got anything planned for the 20th anniversary, which is of course 2017, meaning the remake game isn't coming out in 2017. I don't think that's the case. I don't think when you talk about the 20th anniversary, this game came out in January 1997. So the 20th anniversary would be January 2017. I don't think when he's talking about the anniversary, he's talking about the entirety of 2017. I think in January, and I think that they're going, and that's perfect because that's what they can plan. They can plan on January to give us information on what the combat system is, possibly tease our first release date, and I think that is exactly what they'll do. I think they'll tease the release date, and then shortly after, at an event following after that, maybe a month or two, they will announce a summer 2017 release. It's happening. I just feel it. I feel it that it's not as far away as we've had. Everything we've seen, everything we've heard. The fact this has been in development for pretty much 3.5 years now. This is using Unreal Engine 4, which is another huge point. That engine is far more usable. It's a much more refined engine. Much easier to use. Luminous engine is the one that's a pig. If it was still using Luminous, oh yes, you best believe 2018, maybe even 2023, but that's not the case. So that's it, guys. That's what my estimation is. Are you a 2018er? What's your guess for when this is coming out? Those are all the facts. Those are the key pieces of interview information we've had since June 2015, or the ones that I feel are significant, that really indicate where this might be. And all in all, I think it's been fairly positive. What do you guys think? Until the next video, guys, Kumo!